All right, well, we're back at the convertible top. And as excited as I am to do this, it's got to be done. So what I found out was, as this joint right here loosened up a little bit, you know, as it wore in and started to run, it would fall down to here, okay? And if it was down below here, what would happen is, as this starts to go, this jams down. This goes too low, and it binds it all up, and it starts to bend it right in here where it's just sheet metal. So, here's what we have to do. First thing we have to do is make sure that this cannot be in a state where that starts to decline. So I'm going to add a stop off from this, over this, so it stays elevated. If it stays elevated, it can't get into that state. You can see the other side isn't loosened up yet. It stays up there no matter what, and that's why it's working fine. But eventually, it will happen. Now, I am very grateful that this happened before I put the top on, because that would have been catastrophic. But at the end of the day, we're going to get this fixed. But you can see this rivet right here is loosened up a little bit, and it's now at a point where it can go down and bind, or it can go up. And if it's up higher to start with, it'll stay up higher. So we're going to fix that. Then we're going to take, and you can see they put a piece of metal here off the hinge point up to here. I'm going to reinforce that the rest of the way with another piece of like 1/8 inch material in here. Just weld it in, get that solidified nice so that it doesn't want to bend itself right there. So to do all this, I got to take it all back apart again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the header bow off first. Then I'm going to come back and take the first bow out. Then I will take apart this joint right here so I can pull this piece right off the car and get it all sorted out. So that's where I'm going to go next. I'll bring you back when I have something to show you. All right, so I got both of these off. Couple of things to note, like this side here where it did, this rivet got pretty loose. So I'm going to tighten that rivet up, first of all. But you can see as it kind of goes down in there, right here, it just binds. If it's too low, it can't go anymore. So keeping this up above that point keeps that from binding. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put something in here to keep that from falling down in like that. Keep it up like that. We'll get a better view of it. We got to keep that from falling down in. Now this one isn't prone to doing that yet, but I think as soon as this wears a little bit, this one will do the same thing. So I'm going to fix that. Now you can see where it bent right here a little bit. Got to get that on the anvil, straighten that all back out. Then I will reinforce that with another plate inside. So that'll all be much stronger. So that's what I'm going to start with, I guess. I'm going to try to figure out exactly how I want to. I think I just want to put something across there so that either a small piece of plate or something right here so that it doesn't do it. But when you fold this up, you can see there's plenty of room for something to sit in there. It's not going to interfere with anything else. So if I had a piece right here, that would be fine. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me try to find some material, and then we'll burn that on there. All right, next day. So I welded in a little tab right here. That keeps that from ever falling down to a point where when it goes to fold up, it's not ready to fold up and it can't bind. I also added a reinforcing plate in here of 1/8 inch material. Just welded that up to the sheet metal here. And yeah, that should reinforce that to a point where it won't try to kink there again, even if something does go wrong. So I'm ready to put these back on. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, that seems to fold up pretty nice now. I'll show you in a minute here. Next thing I got to do is just get this header bow adjusted properly again. But I got one other issue with this setup. Right here, this little crown actually starts to make contact with the header bow when it's folded, which, you know, will be pushing through 2 layers of top. So I don't think that's a good idea to leave that like that. So I'm going to round that off a little bit, just kind of taper that down so it's not, you know, biting the edge. It's doing it on both sides. It literally just hits right up in here. So I'm going to do that. Everything else seems to work well now. Everything's working smoothly. No binds. I think we're in good shape. So we're gonna move on, see what happens. I'll show you after I get it adjusted. All right, so I find the easiest way to adjust this front bow is yeah, you can actually see where that piece was rubbing right there that I was just talking about. There's these little triangular blocks that sit up on the front bow like so, or yeah, like this. And you have to get those in behind this header piece. Now I'm trying to show you here. Not sure how well that's going to show up, but that block is right in here. And that's what provides your alignment. So you kind of get this thing centered up the best you can. I feel like I'm a little bit to the left right now, to the right, but I'm going to double check that. Then you get that where it's supposed to be, then tighten these 2 screws up. This large here, this large Phillips head, and then this 1/2 inch nut. So that's what I'm going to do next, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's see how this goes. Get it unlocked. Header bow's all adjusted. Those are pretty cool little mechanisms right there. They're impressive for the latch. Okay, let's see how it goes. Turn around so I can see it in case it tries to eat itself again. Very nice. Okay. Okay, now that looks pretty good. This side, yeah, that's fine. Just needs to be, you got to give it that last little shove. I don't know if it'll start to come into that when the top's on it or not, but I'm guessing that's about as good as it's going to get. So, yeah, I like it. All right, I guess the next thing I'm going to do is rework that little edge, that sharp edge, and then I will final install the pump. There you go. I just cut this down a little bit, smoothed it out, made it so it's not sharp. Now when it hits up here, it shouldn't try to cut the top. Should work. I'm going to close it back up and see what I got. All right, so I bled the pump, got that mounted in, got my hoses run. Pretty happy with how that's laying out right now. I debated going over or under this piece. I think I could have gone either way, but the hoses just wanted to run a little more natural that way. So looks good, nothing binds up. I've tried it down, everything seems good. So I think that's going to conclude the convertible top work, finally. That was a struggle. These things are not easy. They're not a bolted up and it's going to work type application. You gotta be prepared. So I hope this helps somebody out. Hit the like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm pretty confident that the top will go on there okay now. Everything collapses okay. I think we're in pretty good shape. So I'm gonna move on to, I got some more electrical to do. I gotta put the dash back together after I get the two LED flashers in that finally showed up. They've been here for a couple weeks now, but I've been wrapped up in this mess. So I don't think it's too bad. I think it's pretty happy with that install now. I really, really wish I had an original power top, but it is what it is. So I think it'll work fine. It took some doing, some adjustments for the mini tubs, some adjustments for just the way it is, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna move over to the dash, get some work done there, get that cleaned up, head off, and probably got some more, got to install the dual horns up front, but that'll be a different video. So, as we stand right now, I'd say this is pretty much a wrap on the convertible top frame.